Well, thanks for coming out and covering us. I've had some good practices, and we better because Kansas State, I've spent a lot of time studying them. They're a really good team. Some of the games that they lost easily could have or should have been wins. So when you look at them, this is quite a formidable opponent. Offensively, their quarterback is special. He does everything well. They have speed. Speed maybe unlike we've seen at a couple of the spots. Defensively, they have some guys that really understand what they're doing with their scheme. They really are well-coached teams. Same thing with special teams. They have a plan, and you can see their plan each week. In many ways, it's like looking in the mirror a little bit. That they play hard. Their kids play. I like to think our kids play hard. They play hard. So it's going to be quite a challenge. We kind of transferred over from developmental to game plan install now. So now we're working on one thing, and that's getting ready for this game. So some guys that had a little more rest and a little less practice probably be a little sore tomorrow. They've had a little bit of time off now to get back at it. So very excited about getting into this. The real meat and potatoes of getting prepared. And whenever you have a really formidable opponent like they are, you can feel it. So it's going to be a good opportunity.
Just coaching-wise, I guess, how have you been handling the defensive responsibilities, and what's the plan for the bowl game?
Yeah, we've been doing it as a defensive staff, all of us working together. Really a great, unselfish group. Everybody's just pitching in. We've cursed Joe a few times when it takes a little longer when he's not here because he was, in charge of running everything. So everybody's picking up the pieces. So we've had some late nights trying to put it together.
You mentioned their speed. What positions and what kind of stands out? Is it?
Well, you just look on offense at number 3 and number 1. I mean, those guys are rare, and then the quarterback's rare. I mean, the quarterback in high school timed it like a 4.53 in high school. So who knows what he's running now, right? So, that's unusual. That brings you back to the Pat White days when we used to be here in West Virginia. I mean, Pat White was the fastest guy on the field. I don't know if he's that because number 3 is really super fast. He ran a 4.3 something in high school. So you're looking at elite speed guys, and it jumps off the tape.
The defense had a lot of success in the final month of the regular season. Obviously, you've had more time to pour over all that film. What can you guys do? What has the defense tried to do in this last month to elevate that and take that another step further for this bowl game?
Yeah, well, I think Joe and the entire staff did a great job. Like we said earlier, we were really struggling midseason and just kind of stripped it down and built it back up. Whenever there's change like this, it can be growth or you could slip back. So hopefully it's a growth opportunity for us, but we'll find out on the 26th.
And then, Coach, how do you keep the momentum going for this team with such a long break in between games, with the last game being the end of November?
Yeah, I'm not sure that actually happens. I think it's a whole season unto itself, bowl season. I think because you take that break and then you get back to it with the guys that are actually going to play a majority of the reps. So I think it's a one game. They're all one game seasons. This is a one game extended season with, series of practices that go into it.
Offense have scored 30-plus points in the last 3 games. How much confidence does that give you with that side of the ball going into the bowl game?
Yeah, I think offensively, we've been finding our stride, even through some injuries, right? I mean, the tight end situation, I don't know if I've seen something. I shouldn't say that. 1994, we started our 6th safety in the Rose Bowl. So I've seen it once. It wasn't great.
With the situation at the defensive coordinator spot, does that allow for some fresh ideas and maybe to do some new things, more than just wrinkles, but maybe bring in some new ideas from different people on the staff?
I don't think, because it's about the players more than us. They need to be able to execute it. I think one of the things that helped us get out of our little slump there was we simplified less, not more. Sometimes less is more. And I think we got to be careful because certainly guys do have ideas, but they're so multiple on offense. I mean, they do it all. They're getting an inverted bone. They'll get unbalanced. They'll get empty, no backs. I mean, they just about everything on your checklist that you have to do in training camp, they do. So, yeah, I like I said, thanks, Joe.
You guys signed 2 defensive tackles and a running back out of the portal so far. What characteristics were you looking at of those 2 positions, and what other positions are you kind of hoping to target at the rest of the window?
Yeah, anytime we can find a player, we use the portal predominantly to fill needs for next season, right? Occasionally, we'll get a younger guy that has a few years left, and then we got to look at it in relation to our younger guys and say, do we feel they can compete and possibly win the job as a younger guy? The older guys we bring in, we expect them to play. That's why we're bringing them in the portal. So, where we're headed, again, it all is fit. Again, it's not only are they a good enough player, because that certainly we wouldn't even be discussing them, but are they a cultural fit? And it's hard to find that out. What you use is every connection, every resource, everybody that's had an opportunity to be around the young man. Is he, who know us, is this guy a fit for our program? And is it 100%? No, but we spend hours back, searching background to make sure that the tape is the tape and it tells you, but it's the other part that I think is just as important.
You touched on it a few times with Joe already, but looking at when you have like you said, this extended season to prepare, how important is it to keep up that continuity on the offensive side of the coaching staff?
Yeah, it's very important. And I think, look, continuity is always good, but when you have good coaches, I joke about Joe. I'm thrilled for Joe and his family, as I've said. I think he's going to do a tremendous job at UMass. He's a great coach, not a good one, and. But continuity is nice. I tell you, for the head coach, it's really nice. When you lose a coach, especially a leader of one side of the ball or the other, I don't think you can imagine the amount of work that creates for a head coach. Not only getting ready for a bowl game and all that stuff, but getting the next guy. That's why it takes some time. Sometimes it happens immediately. Sometimes it takes a long time.
As far as bowl preparation, last year you had the advantage of playing fairly close to home at Yankee Stadium. This year you go out to Arizona. Obviously, you've seen this before many times in bowl games, but with this group, how do you get these guys ready, to go on the road for a bowl game like this?
Well, we moved the whole operation to wherever we're going. Now, like the one thing that was unique to the Pinstripe Bowl is we bust back here to practice. So we were home every day to practice. Then we went back to the city and enjoyed all the stuff. Now we're getting on a plane and, we're going, whatever it is, 3/4 away across the country, maybe further. So all it is the plane ride, the length of the plane ride. Once you get there, you set up shop in the hotel, all your meeting rooms, everything. It's very similar to being in our building, except you don't have all the amenities.
Bill Belichick taking the North Carolina job, obviously a big story in college football. You're close with him. Did he consult you at all when he was in the process of thinking of that job? And if he did, what did you tell him?
Yeah, my private conversations with Coach will be just that, but I am thrilled for him. He's done so much for my career and for my family that I can't ever repay him. I can't ever thank him enough. But I'm excited for him. I think I could see he's excited, and for he and Michael to be together. They've done this a few times now together. So, it's only going to make all of us work harder. Right? They're going to do a great job, and I'm excited to watch what they do, and happy for him. Really happy.
Just to be clear, did he consult you? Did you?
Like I said, I didn't answer that. So to be clear, my private conversations with him is private.
We'll go Christian, Pat, and Chris, the finisher.
Demir Miller, what did you see from him just this whole year? What kind of impact did he have on the offense?
I thought he was a great addition, right? And you never know, like I said, when you bring these guys in from the portal. But, Coach Brock, myself, Coach Perry, we've all been in the NFL. We've all done free agent visits. So I think that helped to really get to the bottom of, is he a guy that can help us? I think we have some experience on that side of the ball that is huge in personnel and game planning. So, but Demir has been a phenomenal addition. If not the best portal receiver in the Big Ten, one of them, right, as far as production goes. And boy, are we thankful we have him. And now if we can, continue to build. Again, we have some really good young wideouts. We got to continue to build. We'll try to possibly bring, another portal receiver in just to bridge that gap a little bit. But if we can find another Demir Miller, we'll be blessed.
How's the availability report looking in terms of health of the team? And have you had those conversations with players who may or may not be playing in this game? Have those conversations been kind of finalized?
Finalized? No, but that's a Wednesday issue now, not a Friday issue. But yeah, we'll get into that then. But look, it's well chronicled, right? We've been beaten, You know, we have some real injuries that, that are season ending that, are not coming back for the bowl game. Then we had some injuries in the game at Michigan State. So, we just got to fight through it. Next man up. I don't know if I hate it, but everybody says it. Next man up mentality. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes you move guys' positions. Sometimes you do whatever you got to do to field the most competitive team you have. So, but our guys are working, and that I appreciate. And I know our medical staff has been kept very busy. So I thank them for the great job they're doing.
Final question. I guess just how has the way that you prepared for bowl games kind of evolved over the years? From the time you started, as a head coach, in terms of practice time with veterans, developmental guys, things like that.
Yeah, I was truly blessed for a lot of reasons to work with Coach Paterno, but at Penn State when I worked for him, but he was the best at bowl games. I mean, his record says so, but also just the way he handled the whole organization. I thought he did a great job, so I mimic a lot of it from him. And I think our players would tell you they get to really enjoy the bowl game, but they also work really hard in preparation for it. So if you can find that happy medium, I think your players appreciate it and they have a great experience. If you work them too hard, then they don't want to go to a bowl game. What's the motivation? If you don't work them hard enough, you get your ears beat in. So it's a delicate balance. But like I said, I was blessed to learn from the best. So I think that's we've evolved a little bit, but not very much really. Guys, again, appreciate you covering us. I know the guys are coming in here in a minute, but I don't see them again before, right? So I'll see you guys down in Arizona, those of you who make the trip. And those who don't, I'll soak up some of that sun for you. How's that? Thanks, guys.